So Jubilee has done a video on Elon Musk. Oh, that should be good.
The first prompt is, Elon Musk is a genius.
Objectively, IQ. I think that's all I really need to say for my argument. I mean, whether you agree with what he's doing or not, objectively his IQ would state that he is a genius. I think that's argument done and dusted right there.
Leaving aside that IQ has been criticized for being a reliable measure to determine someone's intelligence, it's important to note that Elon Musk has never taken an IQ test that the results are publicly available, so we don't actually know his IQ. All of Elon's supposed IQ is based on estimation, which range as high of 160 to as low as just 100.
Can he analyze highly technical and highly theoretical questions? Yes, he has demonstrated that time and time again. When he interviews people for his company, he launches a litany of super highly technical questions at them, which he himself understands, and he's able to do that in many, many different industries. And he's able to innovate around regulations and processes that other people would otherwise feel constrained by. So I think in practice and in theory, he is a genius.
This woman claimed that Elon is a genius since he can ask and respond very technical questions about his companies. Setting aside how vague this means, this perpetuates the mythos of the genius tech CEO billionaire inventor. Basically, CEO in the tech sector, you know, like the Silicon Valley CEO, they have an highly personified image to make them seem like men of the future. This makes them seem like scientists or engineers unto themselves, but the reality is simply less rosy to them. A CEO of a company does not necessarily need to have experience in the field or product that the company is offering. For example, the current CEO of McDonald's is Chris Kapinsky. He has never worked in the kitchen of any fast food or restaurant before becoming the CEO of McDonald's. Likewise, tech CEO does not require to have a deep understanding of the technology of their company. Obviously, some tech CEO do have a deep understanding of the technology, but even in this case, it's not like they are creating or making discovery on their own. They have a ton of people in their R&D department working on that. This greatly exaggerates their contribution to the new invention the company is making. For a long time, Elon Musk had this appeal of the real-world Iron Man, this eccentric billionaire genius who will make great inventions and save the human race, or something. While this was a very cute persona that he had, and I do say had since his public image has been taking a massive nosedive through no fault other than its own, if you ignore the propaganda, then there's no concrete reasons to believe he has a deep understanding on the product of his companies. We do know that Elon has an understanding of coding since at age 12 he was able to make a little computer game that he sold for $500, but that's pretty much it. Because sure, if Elon Musk had a deep understanding on how to make electric car, on how to build a space rocket, on how to build microchip that goes in the brain, then sure, he will be the smartest human to have ever existed. But with the absence of concrete proof, it's more likely to believe that he has no understanding or a little bit of understanding of the technology of his company. Of course, Elon has a ton of patent on the invention his company made, but being the boss, it's pretty easy to be on the patent. Your contribution to an invention can be very minimal and still be a patent on that invention. I think the most hilarious bit of propaganda on him is that somehow he understands rocket science. Since he only got a degree on physics and economy, how exactly are we supposed to believe that he understands rocket science? Oh, don't worry, he self-taught himself rocket science. Just by reading some books and talking with rocket scientists, we are supposed to believe that he got the mental chop to fully understand the complexity of rocket science. Get fucking real, would you please?
And the fact that maybe you could say Benjamin Franklin is ahead and Leonardo da Vinci is probably still up there. But I think he's in the top 5, and I felt he was going to be in the top 5 for a long time of most innovative, incredible people of all time. But
really, dude? Elon Musk would be in your top 5 most genius of all time? Listen, I think most people would include like Albert Einstein, Isaac Newton, or Leonardo da Vinci. To think that Elon is even close to them is fucking hilarious. While you got Einstein, who discovered the theory of relativity, or a guy like Galileo, who discovered that it was the Earth who rotated around the sun and not the other way around. This discovery got him persecuted by the Catholic Church. And then you got Elon, who has come up with some of the worst fucking idea imaginable. Calling him not an inventor is too generous. He is a negative inventor, meaning that his ideas are truly dog shit. Like his solution to fix Los Angeles traffic congestion is the Hyperloop, a proposal so bad that there's an entire video essay on why this is such a bad idea. Or in 2018, when a football team became trapped in a cave in Thailand, Elon Musk company made a submarine that would save the football team. But in the end, it never got used since it was fuck all adequate to traverse the cave system. And when a British diver pointed out how bad Elon's submarine was, and called it a public relations stunt, Elon responded by simply calling the guy a pedo out of nowhere. And then there is the Cybertruck. Oh shit. This fucking trash can on 4 wheels. This thing who got so much security problem that it got recalled a grand total of 8 times. It has so much security problem that it's not even allowed in Europe. A car that doesn't work in the cold because it was only tested in the climate of California and Texas. This car that was supposed to be the new face of Tesla is now hurting their stock real bad, and they absolutely struggle to sold it to the public. Yep, I blame this fucking monstrosity on Elon. But dude, didn't you say that we shouldn't put all the praise on the CEO for the invention of their companies? By this same logic, shouldn't we put all the blame on the CEO for the company's mistake? Which you would be absolutely correct. But on the Cybertruck, you can fully blame Elon on that one. The engineers at Tesla are not idiots. They know how to make a good car. But the Cybertruck is such a monumental fuck-ups that it can only come about by the massive ego of the CEO, which he thinks he knows better. Elon had such a specific vision for the Cybertruck that he forced his poor engineers to make something out of it. And now Elon and Tesla are paying the price of it. And you want me to believe that Elon is in the top 5 genius of all time? Fuck outta here. Then they talk if Twitter/X got worse after Musk takeover. And look, I wasn't using Twitter before Musk and I sure as hell have no reason to use it now. So I won't go into a super lengthy detail on how the site got so much worse now. But what I can tell you is that X.com value has dropped so much since Musk takeover. User count and web activity has declined a lot and the site have this huge problem of bots infesting X. It seems that dead internet theory is true only when it comes with X. Also, Musk did a mass firing of a ton of employees at Twitter, cutting off nearly 80% of the workforce. A lot of them being in the content moderation team. Musk portrayed this as an epic free speech move, but in reality this has caused a litany of problems, like misinformation running rampant and a drastic increase of child abuse content. Their child abuse problem got so bad that X actually got sued by Australia. And then Doge come up. The anti-Musk team does a pretty good job to portray how much of a fucking shit show Doge has been. Even if you deeply care about finding waste, fraud, and abuse, then Doge shouldn't make you that much happy, since they have found zero evidence of waste, fraud, and abuse. That's why they've made up some ridiculous lies, like how dead people are receiving social benefit, which is a lie, or about the Biden administration sending $50 million of condoms to Gaza, which is a lie, or claiming that Doge had cancelled a $600,000 on a study on men's menstrual cycle, which is also a lie. They have so little proof of waste, fraud, and abuse that they need to make up these ridiculous false stories. And one thing that I found particularly funny is that the strongest base of supporters of Musk is found among the Republican Party. And the Republicans, among all other people, should be particularly mad at Elon since all of Doge's actions are technically illegal. Doge's complete disregard of privacy law are certainly illegal. The drastic cut to public spending and the complete shutdown of government agency which require the approval of Congress, which Doge has done without the approval of Congress, is also very illegal. Seriously, this guy should be in jail and ready to face a trial. But his strongest support base, which like to brandish themselves as the party of law and order, does not seem to care one bit. So the only people that should be happy with Doge are the super hardcore right-wing libertarian crackhead. People who fucking hate everything government related and everything private company is like God gift on earth. But then it's like, why the fuck do you want that? The only one benefiting from that are the richest of the country, but it doesn't stop some people to believe that somehow everyday American will thrive on this free market paradise.
The United States of America has been living in a lie since first Woodrow Wilson with, income tax. I'm supposed to have that. Federal Reserve, and that's been great. And technocracy, which was I was going to say in the last aspect of what's an expert, what's a... Now, the next one, FDR, who decided to take the phrase to protect the general welfare and decided to completely change the foundation of America, which was a government this big, and the Constitution to protect the people from the government.
It's always funny to me when right-wing libertarians like to portray FDR as a bad guy, because FDR is like the reason that America got out of the biggest economic crisis. Before FDR, there was this event called the Great Depression, and that occurred with President Herbert Hoover. Hoover was a big believer of small government. So when the Great Depression happened, he basically did nothing, since he thought the situation would fix itself. It didn't. The Great Depression got worse and worse and increasing the misery and debt to the American people. Everyone got fed up by him and decided to elect FDR. FDR, with his New Deal, drastically increased government intervention. And it's what successfully dragged out the country out of the Great Depression.
And decide that the government is supposed to help the people. If you think the government is supposed to help the people, please leave America. That is not what we are about. We are about freedom and individual liberty. We are about us and the government being, again, that big. So we've come to this idea where the government is supposed to help my Social Security, my welfare, all these things that have destroyed what it means to be American.
Alright, you're the man. He doesn't want his Social Security and social benefit. Look, my dude, it's fine if you got the most hardcore misery fetish ever, but for fuck's sake, please don't force it on the rest of the Americans. Man, I do feel lucky not living in the USA. Because in my country, and I guess most part of the world, when people argue for cutting welfare or social benefit, they argue in terms of necessity. They are like, listen, I know it sucks to cut on social benefit, but we need to do it to balance the budget or something. And some people in the USA do argue like that for sure. But only in fucking America, where you will ever hear someone argue that welfare or social benefit is like a great stain on the country. Oh, fruit stamp? Nah, that goes against the American way. Universal healthcare? Nah, that's not what the founding fathers intended. Oh, fuck off with this shit.
And so Doge, oh wow, they've cut 200,000 jobs. I want about 2.8 million of the jobs to be canceled. Remember that in Thomas Jefferson's time, there was 3,000 people that worked for the government. There's almost 3 million now. That is not what the founders created.
Yeah, I'm willing to bet that the population of America was drastically lower when Jefferson was president. So, you know, they probably needed a lot less federal workers. Then it's on if Elon Musk is a bad father. Even on this one, the pro-Musk people don't have a lot of ammunition to defend him. Some just saying that they don't know enough of the guy to determine if he is a good father. Others just kinda agreeing that he's probably not a good father. In truth, Elon is fucking miles away of winning a Father of the Year award. Elon has a grand total of 13 confirmed children with 4 different women. Hardly the ideal traditional family of one man, one woman. Okay, Elon is not a typical father, but that doesn't mean he is a bad one. Well, according to Elon Musk himself, he claimed to work 120 hours per week. Setting aside the validity of that claim, 120 hours per week of work would leave you nowhere enough time to give enough love and attention to a single child, let alone fucking 13. It's a thing that I find funny that Elon is praised for his hard work and dedication to his companies. But by that same logic, he has to be an absent father who don't spend enough time with his children. Come on, his children will have more interaction with their nannies than they ever will from their own father. Also, one of Elon's children has disowned him, saying herself that she wants to completely cut ties with him in any way, shape, or form. This would be Vivian Wilson, which she has rejected her birth last name of Musk and replaced it with her mother last name, Wilson. I think it's quite the accomplishment to get disowned by your own child while being the richest man alive. Vivian has been pretty outspoken about Musk, stating that as a father, he was often absent, cold, quick to anger, uncaring, and narcissistic. Additionally, he often harassed her for displaying femininity and queerness. Elon Musk has blamed their bad relationship to neo-Marxist influence that she got attending her elite university. He is also not supportive at all of her gender transition, even stating that she's been killed by the woke mind virus. This fucking guy will blame everything except himself for his bad parenting. Hey, prop for this pro-Musk guy for at least recognizing that.
But you mentioned his son, who identifies now as a daughter. Her name is what?
Her name is Vivian.
I want to be respectful as possible, but just disagree on principle. Like what he says about Vivian, he keeps saying, "My son is dead." That's really wrong.
Yeah.
That's really, really messed up for him to say that about his child who identifies now in this different way. And he's not just saying, my son is lost, or my son is struggling. But to say my son is dead is acknowledging what Vivian is saying, like the whole dead naming thing, right? Like, I was never that person, I'm Vivian. He needs to support his child in a different way.
With the latest child, Romulus, that Musk had with Ashley St. Clair, he does not want to have any direct implication on this child, stating that he's not sure if the baby is his, despite a test that revealed a 99% chance that he's the father. At least he's not outright denying it. Instead, he just wants to give money to the mother as compensation. With him being the richest man, it's at least a lot of money. But it does mean that Romulus won't even have the little bit of attention from his father that the 12 others have. And Ashley has claimed that Musk had drastically reduced the money that was agreed upon to send to her. And also, can we please talk about the names? The fucking weird ass name that some of Musk's children have. Exa, Dark, Sidariel. Man, you're pulling my leg. Technomechanicus? Technomechanicus. Oh boys, you really think he's in fucking Warhammer, huh? Then the ever so famous this, which apparently it's pronounced XA12. With fucking ridicule name like that, no one need to entertain the idea of Musk being a good father. I mean, even himself seems to agree that these names are fucking stupid.
Sorry?
How's XA12?
oh, you mean my kid?
Yeah.
That sounds like a password.
What?